How's it going, everybody? It's Seth Holocron back with another Donger deck discussion with a brand new deck, with a brand new person that isn't really getting meta play, and I just love making decks with characters that aren't actually in it. But we've backed it with two fantastic champions, and hopefully this deck can clean up in the ladder. Especially probably if you're the lower levels, if you're like at iron or bronze or whatever, and you want to play something different. You're sick to death of seeing people who can't play the game not play Lee Sin decks correctly. Well, we've got one that'll help you clean house. This deck is called Spring Clean, so let's have a look at it. So I have built the entire deck around this chap. This is the Spring Guardian. So there he is out with his little magic wand of weirdness, But he's looking after things. He looks after all the sort of stuff. But what does he actually do? I mean, why did we even build a deck around the Spring Guardian? Well, let's have a wee look at what he does. When you summon him, and he is a solid 3/3 for 3 mana, you create a Spring Gifts in hand. And I've always wanted to have a little go at making a deck with the Guardian. So this is the Spring Gifts. It is his little thing and a spring and yeah, okay. Yeah, it's slow and fully heals an ally. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Fully heal an ally. Okay, so if we're going for heal, what champion are we going to go for? Well, that's really pretty simple. We're going to go for Soraka. Heal me and my supported ally 4. And in the earliest things of this, I was just running Soraka, and I was running the 2-cost landmark that heals everybody 1. Where is it? There's Star Spring there. So there's Star Spring at the end of the round. Heal damage allies 1. Once I've seen you heal 22 plus damage from allies, win the game. So I tested it 10 times, and I never got above 8. Not once. Not ever. So I dropped it out and I decided to put in another champion. My favourite champion from the new expansion, and that is Leona. Because adding Leona gives you Daybreak. Daybreak gives you Stun. Stun stops them when you're attacking, defending, and that's what wins you the game. Added to the fact that most of this, let's go into my favourite button, we're running 24 units and 16 spells, no landmark, and 6 champions. Our curve goes from 3 1-drops, a whole ton of 2-drops, slightly less 3-drops, and quite a few 4 or 5-drops. But every single card in here heals, gets card draw, does a whole ton of stuff, gains additional cards, and there's a few new cards from the new patch in here as well. Starting with the amazing Star Shepherd, who every time you heal a damaged ally, you grant me +2, 0. She can go from 0 power and 3 health to 17 power and 3 health. And that is horrid. Absolutely horrible. This thing can take out the biggest units on the other side of the board, and because it costs 1 mana, you don't really care. We're healing that much. People don't care at all. You don't even have to heal her. Just heal something else, and off you go, and she ends up with devastating stats. For 1 mana, she is an underrated card in my opinion, so I'm delighted to be using 3 of her. And then that's our only 1-drop in the Spring Clean deck. Guiding Touch, heal an ally or your Nexus 2. And what you want to be doing here is healing allies, mainly, to keep them at full health as much as possible. We also have cards in here, again, from the new patch, that can heal 4 and then grant 4 extra health, which is phenomenal. Especially with Soraka, who heals 4 anyway. So what else can we do? Well, Mountain Goat has been very successful in the lead Sin deck. It's cheap. It is fantastic stats for 2 mana. And then you get your gem in hand, which heals an ally 1. So we are a healing deck. And then you grant it +1 power, which is brilliant to put onto the Star Shepherd. because that starts her off being able to kill off little tiny units and probably stay alive. You know, that gem by itself is, you'll put her back to 3, and then she's a 1/3, heal something else, now she's a 3/3. Gem her again if you can get another gem out of the goat, and now all of a sudden she's a 2. Does really well. So early synergy, Star Shepherd, Mountain Goat, and something like Guiding Touch or Pale Cascade and Soraka. That's the 4 cards you probably want to start off with. And that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is go down the Daybreak stuff, but we'll get to that in a wee second. I love this new card. I think Notify is fantastic. Brilliant in the meta. I'm only running 2 of because I'm running not that many spells and not that much removal. It seems to be stopping spells, getting units off the board, but very little else. But we are healing enough that when we take our trades, we're taking good trades. We're taking trades that are advantageous to our mana curve. As I say, nothing in this deck costs more than 5 mana, so you'll be able to play 2, 3, or 4 cards per turn by the time you get into the late game, which is utterly crucial to win. So Notify, stop a faster soul spell that costs 3 or less. But Sith, what happens if it's more than that? Well, you can't stop a burst speed spell anyway, and then there's only faster slow. It isn't deny, but it only costs half that. So we're running 2 of those. Because I think, you know, let's put this into perspective. Lee Sin is the number 1 deck in the meta. His main card is his Zenith Blade. Well, no, you're not getting Overwhelm. No, you're just not. And we have 4 cards in there to stop him getting his Overwhelm, to be able to do his stupidity Dragon Kick as soon as he hits 10 and then can do 20 damage. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So meta call, big meta call, and even if it wasn't Lee Sin, that would still be a 2 of. 3 Pale Cascades give an ally 2/1 this round, and then if it's the second card that you played, you trigger the Nightfall thing, which is draw a card. So how do we do Daybreak in this deck already? So our final 2-drop is the Solari Shield Bearer. Now, I could have put the Solari Soldier in, which ends up being a 3/3 to a 2/2. This is a 3/6 to a 3/2 for 1 extra mana. Is fantastic in defense. Will actually probably stop people throwing things at you. Again, the Mountain Goat has exactly the same stats. They're both 3/2s. They both cost 2. You get a gem or a bonus +4 health this round before it reverts back to the same stats as the Goat. These are just 2 great early door drops, as is the Star Shepherd. So a Goat or a Shield Breaker or whatever it happens to be, you need a 1-drop, a 2-drop, a 2-cost spell, and Soraka. That's your ideal starting hand. Now, in a thing that has Crescent Guardian in it, which is Nightfall, why is this in the deck? So we have quite a few 3-cost units. Because I want something at 3 that I'd say after round 6, say you've banked 2 spell mana, you can Notify, you can Pale Cascade, you can Guiding Touch, and put down, say, Soraka first, or a Spring Guardian, and then as your next card, or if they throw out an insta attack and just swing, you can Pale Cascade, you can Guiding Touch, you can do something which will allow you to put this down, and it permanently becomes a 5/3 instead of the 3/3. Even if you can't, it's a solid unit. It's 3s across the board, which is excellent, but you can hold off and make sure it's the second card that you play to make it 5/3, and with Overwhelm when he hits on attack, you want that extra 2 damage. It's won me games in testing. Soraka, wonderful. So heal me and my supported ally 4. Once you've healed damaged allies 4 times, she levels up. And then the first time that you heal a damaged ally each round, draw a card. Card draw, wonderful. Fully heal me and my supported ally. So at 1/6, if she gets hit by 3, you have to then wait until you attack with her again, and she'll go up 4. If, for instance, she stops at Garen, who hits for 5, she's a 1/1. You're going to have to hold her back if they block with Garen. because you want to get her leveled up completely. Even if you don't, it'll put her back to being a 1/5 again next time round. This time she goes right away back to her 2/7, and also her supported ally, while that one is her and the supported ally 4. Soraka is a brilliant little champion. I love the little unicorn. She is fantastic. And then the card that we're basing it around. We do get hit quite hard, but none of our units have anything of just 1 health. Which, if you're building a Soraka deck, especially with wanting to heal, then healing a lot helps. So again, that's why I started with Star Spring, because I thought I'd be able to heal a lot, and in testing it just did not happen against various decks. Some trash, some top tier 1 decks. And then I changed it to the current deck that I'm showing you now, and the win rate went from being around 50, maybe just under 50%, to about 72%. So I lost once with it in 4 games with it. So Spring Guardian, that's what the thing is based around, because I really love this idea of using Spring Gifts, and it is a new card, so let's fiddle about with it and see what there is. And then I am, oh god, do I love this card. I have now put this into my Shen Fiora deck in replacement of Riposte. Heal an ally 4. So she'll go to full health, and then you grant it +4 health. Riposte on all the barrier spells only stop her getting damage. Unless you're now vengeancing her or hitting her with a thermal beam, if she is a 3/7, she's practically unkillable. And then you've got other things. And I literally just replaced the Ripostes with 2 of these. I think I kept 1 Riposte and added 2 more of these in. I may actually take out all the Ripostes and go for other spells as well. There's a 3-drop one. There's a lot of good barriers that are out there, including Shen's that he would give her on the attack as well. This is a great card. Now, if you put something like this onto the Shield Breaker, he is a permanent 3/6. Exactly what he is when he comes down. That's amazing. It's equally brilliant to put onto the Star Shepherd, because now that's a whatever that has leveled up to be. So say she's a 4/3. You put that on and you heal, and she's now a 7 health character, and she can get out of control, much like some of the decks. And when you gain barrier, you can bump it up, and they go out of control real fast. They Blade Twiller, for example, if you stun the entire board and it goes up 6 times by 2, well, that's 12, and he's quick attack and horrible. This card is fantastic and definitely a consideration to go at 3 of with it. But at the minute, most of the spells that I am running 2 of. So that is Astral Projection. That is a brand new card. We hope you like it. And then for these other sort of spells, 4 mana is not a lot for a deny. You can stop any spell, slow spell, fast spell, or skill with this. So when the 5/2 rock and roll guy comes down to do 1 to everything, and you only have, after the last round and you're on defense, that'll kill your entire thing. Use the 4, keep them all alive, and just stop that skill altogether. It's also very good at stopping the Dragon Kick. More meta cards. So yes, we went for the Solari Shield Bearer, and we also went for Leona, and she is by far my favorite champion from the Guardian set. She is fantastic. Once you've activated her Daybreak 4 times, which is play the card that has Daybreak on it first, she levels. Leona does level quite quickly in this. So for instance, say round 7, you put her down, or you've already put her down. We've enough shield bearers, and we still have other things that will trigger Daybreak as well. So she will actually level quite often. I think it was only 1 game I've played where I didn't level her up. She's brilliant, and then every single time you activate another Daybreak, you stun the strongest enemy, which is great, but there are other cards that make Leona even better, and one of these are the next two cards. So, as I said, every spell apart from the healing, so this is a 3, this is a 3, okay, those are 3s, but Notify, Astral Projection, Deny, Morning Light has been MVP in this deck. First card you drop. If you've got 4 across, to give them +2/+2 is fantastic. But in an ideal world, you want to drop this after you've played Ravun, because the Daylight Spear will make it happen again. So on 5, drop him down. If you have Leona, then you would drop Leona down afterwards or first or whatever it happens to be. But if you have both Leona and Ravun on their side of the board, and then first time you're attacking, or even on defense, drop this. Everybody gets 2/2, and all ally Daybreak effects happen at once. All of them. So the Shield Bearer becomes 3/6 if you haven't bumped it up with Astral Projection. He gives you an extra card, and will give Leona a double stun, which is just fantastic. But it does it on attack as well. So a double stun with that, good night. So round 8, 9, this is when you want to be dropping Morning Light down to annihilate and stun the opposition to pieces. But what happens if we are in big trouble and we are playing against a deep deck and there's 3 10/8s and and we're struggling. Well, that's where Will of Ionia comes in, and that's also a 2 of. So 2 denies, 2 Will of Ionias, 2 notifies. We've got a lot of stuff in here that we can stop units doing what they want to do and actually really make them mana inefficient. To be able to, earlier versions of this deck were running Steel Tempests, was running Palm. This deck is sporadically over the last 3 or 4 days went from being, believe it or not, an elusive deck. We were going to go full down like a Targon elusive, and I probably will try that again. But this is what came out of testing to kind of make it a far better deck, and it is a far better deck than the elusive one that I built, because I didn't take my time enough with the elusive one. So keep your eye out in a few days for that. My name is Sith Holocron. The deck code for this and all our social media links and an invite to our Discord in the pinned comments underneath this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, cheers. Dongers out.